Today we're going over the Legendary banner for February 2025 in Fire Emblem Heroes. We'll talk about our newest hero and briefly cover the 11 other units on the banner. A nice surprise to end the anniversary month, Sakura is finally getting another ult. She's had a couple, but it's been a long time since the last one. It's been so long that Sakura has been the backpack unit to two separate dual/harmonic ults. Now Legendary Sakura has been patiently waiting for her time to shine. She's in her priestess outfit, but instead of boots on the ground, Sakura will be a flying healer. For stats, I believe she has 39 HP, 48 attack, 47 speed, 23 defense, and 27 res. Might be a little off, but essentially Sakura is a standard glass cannon healer. She is our first Gen 9 flying healer, quite a rare class overall. For ult skills, Sakura has Ice Lock Plus. This is on Winter Hortensia and is a 2-range rally heal. It gives plus 6 defense and res and applies Divine Vein Ice 2 spaces around the target. If used from turn 2 onward, Sakura can get an extra action with the Self-Inflicted Gravity. This effect has a 2-turn cooldown. Now if you were to attack, Sakura has Holy Pressure. This is the 3 cooldown healer damage special that inflicts AoE gravity. Sakura will be able to fire off this special in 1 round. For her weapon, Sakura has the Salvage Staff. Every turn if within 2 spaces of an ally, Sakura grants plus 6 attack and speed, the Salvage status, and the regular warp status to herself and those allies for 1 turn. For allies with this Salvage status, when Canto triggers, if the ally is within 6 spaces of Sakura, she warps them back to a space within 2 spaces of herself. This can work even if the Canto effect has a set distance limit. Now before we talk more about Salvage as a status, this weapon is a 14 might Slaying Dazzling Staff. If initiating or near an ally, Sakura gets bonus attack and speed equal to 6 plus 20% of her speed from start of combat. She does true damage equal to 15% of the foe's attack. She has full no follow-up and has no guard. Going back to the Salvage status, it provides Canto 2. Already really nice, but then if your Salvage unit is affected by Canto control, melee units can still move 2 spaces with Canto, range units can move 1 space with Canto. It might be easier to think of this as the Rescue Staff. Sakura gives Salvage to allies, they get Canto, and with the Canto action, they can warp to Sakura from 6 spaces away, which is absurd. This is like a reverse Young Amaran or Bridal Lapis. Instead of having the team pile on after attacking, allies get rescued by Sakura. Now, Salvage even counters Canto control. The big thing is that range units do not end their turn anymore, and with Sakura, they can just warp back to her instead of moving 1 space. Pretty crazy counter to an effect that at least kinda stopped the abusive amounts of Canto movement happening. We just had a banner with 3 souped up units who not only get extra actions, but also refresh their own Cantos. As if that wasn't enough, now the Valentine's House leaders can just peace out back to Sakura. Now for her unique C skill, Sakura has Quiet Strength. For allies on the map with Salvage or that are within 2 spaces, they will get plus 5 to all stats, plus 7 true damage, 7 flat damage reduction, and minus 1 instant cooldown before attacking. If Sakura initiates or is near an ally, she gets these same effects minus the bonus defense and res. Instead, Sakura gets 50% DR piercing. Now Sakura saw that everyone liked Set It's Refined, so she copy-pasted that with a farther range. As long as you have Salvage and the enemy doesn't have Feud, Quiet Strength activates. Very simple stat boost with true damage and flat DR. Minus 1 instant cooldown is just the cherry on top. With her Slaying Staff and no guard, this allows Sakura to proc Holy Pressure if she doubles. 50% DR piercing, ton of attack and speed, and no follow-up will essentially make her a Colorless mage. For a new inheritable healer B skill, Sakura has Call to Serve. If a rally movement assist is used by the unit, grants the low status to the user, target ally, and allies within 2 spaces after movement. For those allies with low, they get plus 5 true damage in combat. For the user, they inflict minus 4 speed and res, and they get their own true damage equal to the number of allies with low active times 5. If you can buff up 3 allies with the lowest status, you get 15 true damage. From the icon and name, this appears to be a tier 4 Live to Serve skill, however it doesn't do anything with healing the user like that skill line normally does. Instead, this is kind of a mix of the Detect and Discord B skill. It detects allies with the low status and gives them 5 true damage. The user gets more true damage the more allies with low active, which is similar to the Discord B skill. Do note, the healer has to be the one to use a rally or movement assist, or you do not give the low status to anyone. To use the true damage part, you need an extra action, kinda like from Ice Lock, or you gotta be defending. If you don't want to bother with that, you can also just run Call to Serve with another ally who gives out low to the team. Legendary Ira from last month does just this. For their inheritable skill, Sakura has Sway Attack and Speed. This is another healer skill. If unit initiates or is within 3 spaces of an ally, you get bonus attack and speed equal to 8 plus the number of allies within 3 spaces times 2. If you have 2 allies in range, you can get a hefty plus 12 attack and speed. In addition, Sway skills grant Wrathful Staff from the A slot. Now Sakura will be able to do full damage and prevent counterattacks. It also lets her run Call to Serve and not use the Wrathful Staff's Sacred Seal. If you want to branch out your healer builds and you have a Dazzling Staff weapon, then Sway skills are excellent new tools. It builds out of attack and speed form, which isn't too bad to get. Overall, Legendary Sakura is further empowering offensive teams. Easy stats, 7 flat DR, -1 instant cooldown, and 12 true damage with Call to Serve active. She can provide low, +6 attack and speed, regular warp support, and then the new Salvage, or should we say Rescue effect. Not only does Salvage kinda counter Canto control, but it allows Sakura to pull allies to safety from so far away. You could also do some aggressive plays with her, I'm sure. Case in point, the Valentine's house leaders can Canto, then act again, then Canto again. It's kinda dumb. In terms of her own damage, Sakura is another Glass Cannon Colorless Mage in disguise. Lots of attack and speed, 3 true damage sources, no follow-up, and enough cooldown to proc Holy Pressure. She can lay down the AoE Gravity, then Canto away herself. Now, Legendary Sakura is an excellent support unit and awesome for hit and run tactics. If you dislike Canto control, well, this is the unit for you. Moving on, let's talk about the 11 other heroes on the banner. In red this month, we have Legendary Elincia, Aided Dogger, and Marin. Blue's gonna have Hresvelgr, Ratatoskr, and Nerthuz. Green will have Hatebrun, Legendary Melkorin, and Rearmed Lilina. Colorless has Sakura, Mythic Aetherneer, and Rearmed Layla. Our first red unit is Legendary Elincia. She's an offensive sword flyer with a slaying brave sword with no guard. Her C skill provides guidance for warping for all allies and has a 4-space rain debuff. It also provides a team with no follow-up. To get into attack range, Elincia is still the only unit with aero maneuvers. This gives the flyer 2-space warping and dive bomb. Elincia just plans to quad instantly, then Canto away. Next is Aided Dogger, who is a high attack and speed sword infantry. Dogger also has no follow-up support, but adds +6 attack and speed buffs and can give Pathfinder to an ally. For combat, she has lots of stats, neutralizes debuffs, and has treachery true damage that can borrow from allies. Dogger gets flat DR equal to half the true damage amount and has Excel's flat DR effect against specials. This stacks with the Excel A skill. Further effects, Dogger has 50% DR piercing and heals 7 HP after combat. She has firm Canto Curb, which, ignoring that Sakura counters the main effect, still prevents turn-ending effects from happening. Dogger is the only unit with Reposition Gate. The best skill in the game, just gets Canto 1 afterwards. Last is Marin, who's a Sword Cavalier with good attack and speed. Marin joins the extra action after rallying or movement assisting club. She can pass on a 50% DR piercing status, bonus doubler, and then speed and defense link 4's buffs, which include Canto 1. Marin gets all these effects herself and flat DR based on the number of active statuses. With even attack wave end, she can buff attack for the team, and if you win an attack check, you get 5 true damage with 5 HP healing on hit. Couple of rare skills in this group, Firm Canto Curb and Even Attack Wave N are also only on one other unit each. If you want blue beast units, the blue group has you covered. With her first rerun, Mythic Hresvelgr is back. She's a flying blue beast with good attack and speed and a variety of support effects. This includes Speed and Demon's debuffs, exposure, and an at start of turn penalty cleanse with +1 movement for dragons, beast, infantry, and armors. Hresvelgr inflicts the anti-miracle status, which boy sure sounds useful. She then deals 1 damage to her team. It's a bit odd, but units like Rearm Nell actually need hurt allies, so a use case for that. For combat, Hresvelgr has a good amount of bonus stats with Slaying, no guard, no follow-up, and 50% piercing. She has built-in Excel, flat DR, and 40% regular DR too. Hresvelgr has scary nuking potential because she gets 3 true damage for every status on the foe and foes within 2 spaces. This has no cap, so things can get out of hand on grouped up enemies. For other skills, she has Speed and Defense near Trace 4 for Canto. Nimble Beast is the speed-focused Beast special with 40% unpierceable DR. Fortune makes it easier to transform and has bonus stats. The only other unit with Nimble Beast and this Fortune variant is Nearest Hresvelgr. Second, we have Mythic Ratatoskr, who's our Book 8 freebie. She can deploy Divine Vein Green Tiles, which can stop warping, and she can heal allies after combat. Ratatoskr then fights with lots of attack and speed, Slaying and Breath type cooldown, guard, and she has 40% damage reduction. Beast Agility is the no-follow-up Beast skill that allows guaranteed transformations, and then Clash is the reliable stat booster. Last we have Mythic Nerthuz, another speedy beast. She has Sling, no guard, and Breath type cooldown since she gets more stats for running higher cooldown specials. Nerthuz has no follow-up, 40% DR, and reflects damage based on what she reduces. For a hit and run aspect, she can inflict AoE Gravity. You then either trigger Gale Force or you get Canto 1 from Alarm Attack and Speed. Clash and Alarm are both good stat boosters. With her damage reflection though, Nerthuz would be kinda interesting with Hresvelgr's Nimble Beast and then Excel's flat DR. Moving on to green, Mythic Hatebrun is a super bulky green beast infantry. Her Divine Nectar status negates deep wounds entirely, gives 20 instant healing and 10 flat DR. Divine Nectar allies who use rallies or movement assists also get extra actions. For debuffs, Hadron inflicts -7 attack and defense, Discord, deep wounds, and the anti-miracle status. She's an incredibly strong support unit. For combat, Hadron is focused on pure survival. She has a defensive special and has Bulwark 4 to stifle movement. Stronghold is the flat defense booster that can negate panic and debuffs. Hadron is just here to not die and keep her team alive. Next, legendary male Korin is a high speed and res infantry dragon who does a little bit of everything. He has distant counter on his weapon with 7 flat DR, scowl, and times pulse 4. Korin will charge his Dragon Fang shot special for unpierceable 40% DR. He has 50% piercing and can deploy water terrain, which is difficult terrain for ranged foes and cuts enemy DR in half. For fodder, Korin's the only one with high dragon wall, 40% damage reduction if you have higher enough res, and this has a warp bubble effect against ranged foes. Korin also has attack and res play for debuffing, and speed and res finish for stats, true damage, and some healing. Last up is rearmed Lena with I think her first read one. She's a high attack and res infantry mage. Arcane Truth Fire gives plus 14 stats, true damage based on attack, 7 flat DR, and then slang with instant cooldown. It gives the user plus 6 attack and warping, plus it's the only arcane from the current trend that gives instant cooldown to AoE specials, similar to Momentum. Luckily, Lilina has her own unique AoE. She can pre-charge it every fight, and it has built-in Hardy Bearing, 50% piercing in combat to finish the job, and it even has 40% DR just in case. For other skills, Lilina has Slime Mirror for a follow-up with the extra true damage, Occultist Strike for instant damage and true damage. She then has Attack and Exploit for debuff support, and more true damage thanks to exposure. Legendary Sakura leads our last Colorless group. She has incredible fodder for any healer. If they have a Dazzling Staff weapon, Sway offers Rifle Staff. This opens room for Call to Serve, and you can use Ice Lock for the extra action to potentially buff and attack. The ice terrain can stop advances, and Holy Purchase Gravity is another movement deterrent. Assuming Call to Serve is just upgrading from Live to Serve 3, it is very easy to inherit Sakura's entire kit. She's a great unit herself, but if you got healer projects, then a very good source of new skills. Next is Mythic Ache. Like his free version, Ache is the field buffing guy, adding bonus doubler and +3 to any field buff. He has Treachery true damage and can borrow from allies, and he also has flat DR based on field buffs too. His unique B skill gives a penalty cleanse, some healing, a follow-up, and if he wins an attack or defense check, you inflict a ton of attack and defense debuffs. For skills, Ache is the only one with the DR piercing Fierce Beast. He's one of 2 units with Beast Threaten, which has Times Pulse with Panic and -7 debuff support. Attack and Defense Excel is great for flat DR when initiating. Some solid skill options for his Heroic Rail version if you wanted to build him. Last up is rearmed Layla. She's a scary assassin who has Arcane Slide Knife. Plus 14 stats, low speed and defense, true damage and 7 flat DR. It's the slang plus instant cut on Arcane Dagger. Layla stands out with her Dark Perfume beat skill. It inflicts the rare undefended status which prevents Savior. She then inflicts Flash to prevent counterattacks. 2 very strong effects not get blasted by all the Far Saviors currently around, and exceptionally good for Emblem Lyn and her Astral Storm Ring. Now to empower her own combat, Layla has Pulse Up to pre-charge lethality. She has more true damage and no guard. Dark Perfume also acts as a disarm trap skill. Layla has attack and speed finish for the extra true damage, and she's the only unit with Lookout Force. Canto 2 with Distant Swap is a neat way for daggers to play. This skill has attack and speed debuff neutralization compared to Yunaka's Active Lookout, which has Desperation. Active Lookout may be better for most squishy daggers, but Layla has Flash. Both of these are going to be countered by either Party Bearing or Nosy District though. Either way, Colorless is very stacked if you wanted to try for the new Sakura. A lot of rare skills, a little class specific, but very fun stuff. That'll be it for February's monthly banner. Legendary Sakura is going to be incredibly strong for Canto hit and run teams. You don't even need Canto since Salvage provides it anyway. As long as the team can reach the enemy, Sakura can rescue them safely. She comes with set its support buffs along with -1 instant cooldown. Useful for pretty much everyone out there, and who's to say you can't stack Sakura and set it together. As a reminder, A Hero Rises is about to begin its voting gauntlet portion. The winner is going to be given to everyone for free, so you might want to wait to see how that turns out. Additionally, the 8 contestants are going to be on a banner in March. Maybe you want to save orbs because decent chance March also has a new emblem hero. We may be done with the holiday season, but saving orbs has not gotten easier. Personally, I'll be doing the good old pick a god and pray for a lucky free summon. Good luck to those of you who are summoning on the banner. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.